You can always tell who the strong women are. They are the ones you see building each other up instead of tearing each other down. This is a hard topic for me to talk about, but I feel it's important. It's amazing how many times I hear the stories about women sabotaging other women, especially in the corporate world. I just don't understand it. Women have to fight for so many things like equal pay, being passed over for the promotion even though we are the right man for the job, being told we are being aggressive when we are just being assertive, being asked if it's that time of the month when we disagree with something that has been said in a meeting that is clearly incorrect. When we come back to the workforce after a sabbatical, like maternity leave or looking after our kids a few years, we find it hard to get a job on the same level that we were on before having children. Men, on the other hand, come back from a sabbatical and get the same level job or a higher position than they were on prior to having time off. A few years back, I was working with a business coach and we touched on the subject of women being each other's worst enemy. He told me a story about a past female executive client he was helping. She was experiencing roadblocks in getting to the next level of her career, and she believed it was because of her gender. Whilst he was working with her, she landed a great job, the next level up. A little while later, my coach had another female client who was experiencing the same thing. Whilst my coach was working with her, he told his client she should reach out and connect to his previous female client he had helped. And she did. At her next catch-up with the coach, she reported that the woman he asked her to connect with was one of the women that pulls up the ladder every time she reaches her destination. Girls compete with each other. Women empower one another. Female rivalry is evident in reality TV shows. I decided to watch my first ever series of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. And wow, what a difference between the female behaviour and the male behaviour. The competition between the females in the house vying for the attention of the bachelor was catty and toxic. Every woman in that house was putting the other woman down and picking out their faults. The opposite occurred in the house of the men. The men became mates. They helped each other get a date with the bachelorette, even to the point when one of the guys lost the competition on purpose because his opposition hadn't yet been on a date with the bachelorette, and the prize was a date with the bachelorette. These guys even collaborated and wrote a funny song for the bachelorette. They were just making the most of their time together. When I think about these scenarios, I try and make sense of why we do this to each other. Why do we get so jealous of each other? Are we competing with each other subconsciously? And in our subconscious mind, are we thinking, is she prettier and skinnier than me? Is she smarter than me? And when we see a woman successful, we make a joke. I wonder who she slept with to get to that position. There's no need to compete with each other. You are enough. I am enough. We are all enough. So before we open our mouth to put another female down, stop and tell yourself that this woman has worked hard to get to where she is, even harder than a lot of men. So let's support and encourage her with our words rather than destroy her. Be a strong woman because strong women lift each other up. Be that woman who fixes another woman's crown without telling the world that it was crooked. So until next time, please subscribe and like.